Hey, today's yoga class is all about building strength. We're going to do some standing poses to build strength in our legs and hips. We're going to do some plank poses to build strength in our core and upper body. And then we're going to finish up with some deep stretches to keep ourselves from getting sore from all this work that we're about to do. You don't really need any equipment. If you want to have some blocks or something handy for the stretching part when we get to that, go ahead and make sure you have that nearby. Make sure to leave me some comments below. Let me know if you like this after you try it. And be sure to check that Patreon link in the description and check the videos that I have over there as well. So let's begin in our mountain pose. Nice and tall. And we'll just begin with some deep breaths. We want to make sure to find our three-part breath, which is the one where we inhale into our belly, ribs and heart, and then exhale heart, ribs and belly. And we want to make sure that we stay breathing throughout everything that we're about to do, building strength with our yoga. Now let's go ahead and begin with a few pelvic tilts, pressing in through our navel. And there's another video out there that tells you how to do the pelvic tilts. Now let's step out wide, hula hoop. We're going to begin with a little basic yoga warm-up so that we're ready for all that extra work we're about to do. So let's inhale up, exhale halfway forward, keeping a slight bend in our knees, inhaling up, exhale halfway forward. Getting in touch with our breath. And let's bring it up, inhale, exhale, one hand down. We always want to warm up our spine forward and back, side to side, and in some twisting motions. And let's go ahead and inhale up, exhale, one elbow in front. Inhale up, exhale to the other side. Keeping our spine long, our head reaching for the ceiling. And back to the center. All right, let's find our chair pose, or Utkatasana. Literally translates to powerful pose. So let's begin to shift our hips back. We can start with our hands at our thighs, but we want to make sure that we draw in through our navel, lift our chest, roll our shoulders back and down. So we can even take our hands back at our heart or forward. And we're actually going to take this to a few little squats. Let's inhale up, exhale, sit the hips back. Inhale up, exhale, sitting our hips back. So hands can come to our thighs, our heart, or just bring them down. We want our weight behind the balls of our feet onto our arches. Let's lift up. We'll bring our feet together this time. Push back to that powerful pose. Again, hands in whatever position we're feeling the strongest or most powerful. Chest up. Now let's lift up from here. Step it out and hula hoop. Other way. Now let's go ahead and take this to a crescent lunge. So we're going to slide one foot straight back, keeping a hip distance. We're going to stay up on our toes. And let's just hold here for a moment. Arms overhead. We can keep hands at our heart or hips. And we're actually going to go ahead and bring our hands to our hips. Take this knee and bring it underneath our hip. Make sure we got our other one over our ankle. And we're just going to straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. So our body goes up and down. Now let's go ahead and bring it up. Now we're going to check in with our balance today. Let's reach our hands forward, clasp our hands. We're going to shift our weight onto our front leg and see if we can just bring our back leg straight up. If we need to, we can tap it along the floor coming in, or just lift it straight up into our hands. Lifting up tall to the ceiling. Whoops. And then we're going to see if we can take it back to our lunge. Now let's release from there, shake that out. Let's go to the other side. So again, finding our lunge and just standing tall and strong here for a moment. And then keeping our front knee over the ankle. Let's bring our back knee in under our hip. Straighten and bend. Keeping our gaze straight ahead. We may be moving only an inch, and that is fine. Shoulders staying over our hips. So let's bring this back up nice and strong. And we'll interlace our hands. See about bringing our back knee up into our hands. See how this side does today. Remembering that each side tends to be different, or not. And let's shoot our legs back to our lunge. And here we are. Let's turn sideways on our mat so we can step out wide. We're going to begin with a forward fold, toes pointed forward. This is to help stretch everything out. So just kind of move however you're feeling. We'll also stretch out with a little downward dog or wide leg downward dog. Let's release from that, walking our hands back in. So we can take hands to our thighs, our hips, or keep them here on the floor. And let's work side to side, working the inner and outer thighs. Building some heat in our body. So when you're ready, you can take this faster. Remember, you can go a little higher. Let's come back to the center for that forward fold. And then making our way up, halfway in, and we'll circle our hips. Let's take it the other way. And we're going to check in with our balance again. So get near a wall or have a chair handy. Let's begin to shift our weight over, and we're just going to take our foot up to the side, hands wherever we need them. And just notice the strength in that standing leg. Let's bring ourselves down, shift over, and take this to the other side. Now let's bring this down. We're going to step to the back edge of our mat. So we're going to stand with our heels toward the edge, facing the rest of our mat. Let's take a couple of deep breaths right here in our mountain pose. And we'll inhale our arms up, exhale, forward fold. So we're going to begin with a little caterpillar here, walking our hands out to plank, walking our feet to our hands, forward fold. Then we're going to walk our hands, feet out to plank, and hands to feet, forward fold. So let's just take this back and forth a few times. Let's bring it forward to our plank. And release to hands and knees. Let's come up and just take a camel pose for a moment. Open all that up. You notice breathing a little heavier. Arm balances do get our heart rate up. So we're getting a little cardio here today too. Especially when we're working our upper body the way we just did. Let's release down. We'll find our downward facing puppy pose. So pushing back. And we're going to begin here coming forward to a kneeling plank. Exhaling back to our puppy. Inhaling forward. Exhaling puppy. So let's kind of feel our core here. If we feel like a little more, we're going to come forward to a full plank. Lift up to downward facing dog. Shift forward from the hips. And exhale up. So moving with our own breath here for a few more, whichever way we're doing this. And then we'll take it to our child's pose, or we can lift up to downward facing dog. If we do come down though, we can give our wrists a little break. Now let's go ahead and come to our hands and knees. We're going to look at a side plank flow, and we're going to begin with a kneeling side plank. And what we're going to do is slide one foot off the mat, take the other leg out long, inhale up, exhale to hands and knees, slide the other foot out, inhale up on the other side, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. So we can stay with this variation of our side plank flow, or we can take it to the full version from our full plank. For this, we just kind of roll our feet, inhale up, exhale down, roll the feet, inhale up, exhale down. So let's take that one more time each side, no matter which way we're doing it. And then we'll take our child's pose. Let's all go ahead and take our wrists in the opposite direction, controlling the stretch, giving our wrists a little break. So we're going to come onto our belly, and we're going to strengthening our lower back a little bit, or a lot. And we're just going to take this to some cobra breaths. So pushing the tops of our feet into the floor, shrugging our shoulder blades down. Let's inhale forward and up. Exhale down. Moving with our own breath. On this next breath, let's inhale and hold. Elbows squeezing in. And we will take this to our knees, adding a little cushioning here if we need. And we're going to open everything up with a variation of our camel pose. So if you're feeling a back bend here, go for it. We can also do it with knuckles in our waist. Now let's release from here. We're going to back up to the back of the mat. We're going to work on opening up the front of our hip by bringing this foot forward, and we can help it out. But bringing it far enough forward that that back hip has gravity pulling it down, opening up. So we're going to go ahead and move into our deep stretch portion. Stepping back and straightening our front leg. And just letting our nose sink toward our knee. Let's bring it forward again, opening up our back hip. Now let's switch legs. So again, help it out if you need to. Walk it forward. Bring that back hip down. And then we'll walk our hands back, straightening our front leg. Let's bring this forward one more time, back it down. release from there. Come around and have a seat. We are going to work core strength just a little bit more with our boat pose. Let's begin though with soles of our feet together, coming forward. If we do this right, we're going to be squeezing our thighs together, which is going to get some fired up action in our thighs. So let's give them a little stretch first. We're going to give them a big stretch afterwards. So let's lift up, knees together. If you happen to have a block nearby and you want to put it there to squeeze on, sometimes that actually helps. So let's, I'll tell you what, I'll grab one real quick and show you. Let's make sure that we're up on our sit bones. And then if we do happen to have a rolled up towel or something, or a block, we can squeeze that and find that perhaps lifting and holding here is a lot more accessible. We feel the inner thighs squeezing together, drawing up through our abdominals, lifting our chest, breathing as best we can. It is challenging because all those muscles are squeezing in. Let's release from there. Again, soles of our feet together. Give those thighs a little break. So let's begin here, coming forward. And it's a little struggle to breathe now because all the muscles that we just worked squeeze in on our breathing muscles, our diaphragm. Take advantage. Let's take it wide and see if we can come forward. We'll bring it up from here. Let's go to an easy seat. Stretching out from our side. Let's reach the ceiling. And if you're feeling it, take it over. Checking in with our breath. Let's lift up from here, and we're going to take this to a twist. Let's unwind from here, switch our front leg. Let's side bend other way. Again, reaching for the ceiling is a big opening in itself. If you feel it though, take it over. And let's lift up, take this to a twist. Let's come back around. We're going to take our legs out long. We're going to begin with a stretch, opening our heart, and we're going to finish one last strengthening exercise for our arms and core. And this is our incline plank, where we're going to roll backward, lift up, point our toes. Now, if this is too intense, we can always just place our feet right in front of where they were and lift up to more of a tabletop type pose. We want to rest our head back, but keep our chin slightly tucked. Feeling that strength in our arms. This is a good one to do all the time to build that tightness in our biceps and triceps. Let's lower down. It works our wrists. So let's give them a little counter stretch. And we're going to take this to a hip opener to finish off with. Let's make our figure four. Lift this leg up and press forward, which we can do from fists if our wrists are getting tired. Or we can even bring this foot into the crook of our arm, wrap our arm around this knee and sit up tall. Let's go ahead and release from there. switch sides. So again, just taking it here, or if we're feeling a little deeper today, elbow and arm. Sitting up tall, hugging in. We don't want to round back. Let's lift up. Breathing deeply. All right, let's release that. Have a comfortable seat. And let's just take a couple of breaths right here. So check below for that Patreon link to find even more detailed videos. And if you're interested, let me know. And I'm very much planning to add some live Zoom classes through that Patreon account as well. So be sure to check it out. It is free from the time you sign up until the first of the following month. So you got nothing to lose if you cancel by the end of the month. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Give me some comments about this if you want some more strength building yoga exercises. And I will see you next time.